Hello everyone! Welcome to this new lesson. This is Carlota, and in this course we are going to talk about portraits, as I've said. First of all, we are going to talk about the definition and the concept of portraits, and also about the different styles we can see within the illustration field. I'm going to show you different examples of images that we are going to use as a reference throughout the course. So, what's a portrait? We can define portraits as a kind of image where we emphasize the expressions of the person. So, inside the illustration, the character that appears can look at the front or it can have the body tilted. But the most important thing here is the face. We can find different kinds of portraits like formal, informal, familiar, grouped, self-portrait, or anti-portrait. We'll be seeing them through different examples to explain them closely and make it easier for you to understand what I'm saying. In our case, we are going to focus on formal and informal portraits. This one you see here is a formal portrait. Formal portraits are not usually spontaneous, as one of their characteristics is the planning and control. The position of the model and the way of looking are thought carefully beforehand. It hasn't always a commercial use. It can be the author portrait for the cover of the book, a director photograph, or for a program. What we need to show in the portrait is the personality key features. On the other hand, the informal portrait has to be a reflection of the personality, and at the same time, it has to capture the spontaneity. The artist has to represent the ease of the precise moment. The fast reaction of capacity is important to achieve a great portrait, otherwise we'd lose a unique moment. Obviously, the models aren't posing. We aren't looking for perfection in the informal portrait, because the objective is to capture spontaneity, not perfection. Let's talk about family portraits. Family portraits, we have a group of family members, right? It can be more classical, where we find rigidity in the postures, or it can be also contemporary, where we see relaxed postures and can have a funny theme. In this example, you can see a composition with a couple holding their pets. It's not that rigid, it's more funny. And now the self-portrait. What is it? Well, it's when the artist and the model are the same person. I chose, for example, Frida Kahlo, as you can see here. First of all, because she's a well-known person, and because for that reason, the self-portrait is visually attractive, and also because the majority of her work were self-portraits. In opposition to the self-portrait, we have the anti-portrait. What is it? Well, although it has the portrait composition maxim, its main objective is to hide entirely or partially the face of the artist. And then we have the group portrait. This can be either formal or informal. It can show family, friends, etc. It has the same characteristics that we've mentioned before, but we can find in this kind of portraits, we can find more than one person on it. For example, like here we have two people. And well, the references I'm going to use to practice the aesthetic in our projects will be by Loish, who is an amazing leading artist. I love her designs. And she has worked with Wacom. And then I recently discovered Aninos, a bright artist who is working in the concept art and character design. I love his work and want to take him as a reference. And finally, Alexandra Fastovets, who masters the use of colors and expressions. I really love her style. They are great artists. So, see you in the next lesson. Bye!